All right, so we want to do a seated cable row. Good exercise for the big back muscles, the lats. It's a pulling motion, so it's a horizontal pulling motion. I'm pulling into my body. And it also works the biceps, the rhomboids, which sit in between my shoulder blades, because there's a big squeeze of the shoulder blades as part of the motion. That's actually the first part of the motion. You squeeze the shoulder blades and then you pull in. It's really all one continual motion, but if we're to break it down, it goes the shoulder blade squeeze first, then the shoulder moves, and then the elbow moves, and then the reverse happens when you retract. So the elbow, the shoulder blade releases, shoulder blade contracts, shoulder moves, elbow moves, and then it reverses again. That's the motion. You can't go wrong on this if you cue yourself by saying, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then let them go. Squeeze, and let them go. But remember, even though you're sitting down, nice tight core, nice straight posture, okay? And your head's not down like this, it's not cranked back like that. And you need to maintain this posture because even when you let the shoulder blades go here, you don't want to slouch and slump, okay? You still want to be up nice and straight. You want the shoulder blades to come apart, but you don't want to fall forward, okay? So it's a seated cable row. Most gyms will have a machine that's dedicated to this movement only. Mine isn't a machine like that, but I do have the option to make this machine a seated cable row. So the main difference is that usually in the gym there's a single cable coming out and you're holding on to either a triangle with a close grip, or you can also put a wider bar on it and pull it in like this, okay? The beauty about this setup is that it's isolateral, meaning that I'm working both arms separate, so I get to visually see and feel am I weaker on one side than the other. And I can also change my grip. I can change my grip through the range of motion. So I can start with my hands down and rotate to supine, so prone to supine, 180-degree turn through the range of motion. Or I can start with my hands down and rotate to neutral. Or I can just do it start to finish neutral. Or do it start to finish with my hands down. Or do it start to finish with a supine or like a curl grip. Okay, so I have that flexibility. You may not have that flexibility at the gym. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a wide grip. Okay, so with my hands down, that means my elbows are flayed out more, and I'm really focusing more on the big back muscles, less on the biceps. As I start to rotate my hands to neutral and supine, the biceps and other muscles like brachialis and brachioradialis start to come more into play. They're in play when I'm doing this, but they're more so as I go from neutral and especially to supine here, okay? So, the motion is, again, tight core, straight back, breathe in, out. Hold here for a second. Let it go nice and slow and controlled. Breathe out, or breathe in, sorry, and out. Now, I'm not shrugging my shoulders as I'm pulling. I'm keeping my shoulder blade, or my shoulders down and squeezing my shoulder blades, okay? And I want to keep my head up nice and straight. See that little plate up there? I'm usually going to try and find some visual cue that's above my head and keep my eyes on it. Keep my head straight, but keep my eyes up on it so that I don't drop down like this, because it'll go out of my line of sight very quickly if I drop my head down. That's a good cue for me to keep my head. Okay? So here's what the exercise looks like. Grab the cables, put your feet up. You lean back until you have tension on the cable. Sit up nice and straight, tight core, breathe in and out. Pull it all the way in, out. Full range of motion. When I stop, when I can't get a full contraction, you get all the way in, okay? If you can't get it all the way in for the prescribed number of repetitions, all the way back, shoulder blades together, and it's basically in line with your torso or bottom of your rib cage, then you need to take some weight off, okay? So that is the seated cable row, and again, it's a great exercise for the lats.